Hey friends, it's Rosalind. Welcome back to our gardens and our tiny farm. We are just going to walk through the gardens today and see what's blooming. It has been raining and it's been cold all week long, so I haven't gotten any gardening done. Next week looks like it'll be a little bit nicer, so hopefully we can work on some garden projects together. But let's just go see what's in bloom in the gardens right now. We are up here on the patio. So I think we're going to start in this little corner. I am loving how this corner is coming together. I know it doesn't look, it's not done. So it doesn't look beautiful yet, but it will. We are planning on taking out this burning bush and replacing it with like a weeping evergreen. And then right in here where you see this little empty spot, I'm not sure if I want to plant an oak leaf hydrangea in there or if I want to do like a cone-shaped boxwood. If you have ideas on that, I would love to hear about it. I planted a lot of things in here last fall, so everything is still very small, like the hostas, there's a stilbe under there. I planted some coral bells in here. There is lambsdare, there's a hydrangea. There is another hydrangea back in that corner. But like I said, it's slowly coming together. In front of the deck, we have an at last rose that is filled with buds. If we come in a little bit closer, do you see all those buds? There is some echinacea growing right in here. There's grasses. There is a pinky winky hydrangea. And then on each side of the steps, now the deck is not done yet. I haven't done my planting up there, and my little snips is right there. But these are my Monet weigelas or weigelas. I'm never sure how you pronounce it. But it's just filled with pink flowers right now that the hummingbirds and the bumblebees enjoy. If we turn around this way, out here is the cut flower garden, and we sit out here a lot in the summer to have dinner in the evening, especially on the weekends. Last week we planted up these containers together and they're looking so good. All of this rain has just really made those flowers take off. I went out into the garden and I cut a ranunculus bouquet. We have so many pretty ranunculus blooming right now. I just added in some honeysuckle and some 9-bark. It is just so pretty. Also, you might notice that this table set is new. I got it off of Facebook Marketplace last week, and I had planned on placing it out in the raised bed garden that we will look at in just a minute. But I am kind of loving it up here. I mean, can you imagine this with a pretty container or a pretty planter in the middle of it? Or maybe we'll just have fresh flowers on it. It's so sweet. Now our hose is unreeled. Harley ran some water out to the camper, so that's why the hose is out. But the hostas and everything are just really taking off. This is a white feather hosta that comes out white, and then in the middle of summer it turns green, but it's just a very interesting hosta. This one has gotten so big, and I'm also thinking about adding in an oak leaf hydrangea in here or adding in a cone-shaped boxwood to just kind of, I don't know, mask all of that. Back in here, I do have a pathway going back in here, but I'm thinking about taking out these flagstones and filling this with some herbs that need to grow in shade, kind of a wooded area. And I think this would be perfect for it, especially like under the hostas. The clematis is filled with buds. I mean, in another couple weeks or so, we should have a pretty show. The columbine are looking so pretty. And then we have some, is it Artemisia? I think that's what it's called. There's some lamium in here. All of this ground cover really suppresses the weeds, which is something that I really appreciate. We have a perennial sweet pea vine growing up here. And there's just some hydrangeas in here. There is a rhododendron right in here that is done blooming. There's some ferns. There is creeping jenny, a hellebore, Lenten rose, and the planter that we planted up together last week. Jude has all of his science and bug experiments going on up here. This corner is just kind of a hot mess right now. It has all of my plants that I have plans for in upcoming planting projects. But this, do you guys remember when we started these pansies from seed this winter? we have our first bloom. About 6 weeks late, but it's so sweet. Let's head out into the cut flower garden and see what's in bloom out there. I think we'll start in this little corner of the garden. So I never stake my peonies because I cut the flowers like even before they're fully in bloom. So I never have to worry about them flopping over. But this past weekend we had 60-mile-an-hour winds for like 5 hours straight. It was just like a straight line wind and it blew a lot of the peonies over, unfortunately. There's not a whole lot in bloom, but you can see if we walk in here, look at all the roses. They are budded up, ready to bloom. And back in here, this is my sunflower patch. So that's why there's nothing growing in there just yet. In here, all those holes that you see in the, we use like a greenhouse grade landscape fabric to cover our vegetable and annual cut flower garden. So wherever you see holes, that is all filled with seedlings and seeds. So it doesn't look like much yet, but it will in another month or two. In here again, there's not a whole lot in bloom. There's some alliums and the ranunculus. We need to take a closer peek at them because some of these are absolutely stunning. This is a soft buttercup yellow one, but I believe this one is my favorite. And this is from the Princess Bride ranunculus mix. Isn't it just so pretty? There's another one. This one is an Italian. Can't think of the name, but it's an Italian ranunculus. And this one is just from a pink mix. I mean, how pretty is that? In this little planter, Jude has some flower seeds planted in it that he brought home from school. His teacher gave him flower seeds for our honeybees. There is rhubarb right in here. The tulips back in here are completely done. I just need to pull them. And we have some carrots planted in this tiny raised bed. This wooden raised bed comes from my husband's grandmother. So it's old, but it's so cute. The Amsonia blew over in the wind, so it's kind of laying on its side, but those blue flowers are so sweet. Again, all of these roses are budded up. The Sarah Bernhardt peonies are ready to bloom. Those are my favorite peonies. The clematis on each side of the arbor is filled with buds. And then we have another Sarah Bernhardt peony. There is a David Austin rose right in here, and the poor Amsonia. It's in there, but it's kind of squashed between two different perennials. There's some more ranunculus back here in this raised bed, and the sweet peas that I have on the sweet pea trellises, those are starting to take off. Over here, this peony, I had thought about pulling it because I thought it was a single flowered peony, but I'm so glad I waited because look at this bloom. I mean, how gorgeous is that? And it smells so good. There is, down below it, there is some creeping phlox that blooms from spring right up until fall. The poppies blew over in the wind, so they're not looking that sweet anymore. But I think it was a week ago, they were just in their prime. They were looking so good. Up here, my lemony lace elderberry. The rabbits really ate at the bark this past winter. So all of this, I think I just need to come and cut it back because do you see all that new growth at the bottom? There is a lot more peonies that are getting ready to take off. This one, I can't think of the name right now. I'll have to pop it up on the screen, but oh, such a pretty flower. This is the stage that I like to cut them at for the longest vase life, when they feel like a marshmallow, but before they open. There is some Mount Everest alliums and coral sunset peony. There is baptisia right in front of it. Behind it, there's a lavender colored baptisia. And this is some lupine that I had started from seed last winter in using the winter sowing method, and it's blooming. It's so pretty. Now, if you look back here, we are doing a trellis setting that we are going to do all along the center of the garden, and I will share more about that in a later video. But it's just to have climbing vegetables and flowers and plants on there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Some more of the Mount Everest alliums. There is more baptisia. There's purple alliums, more lupine, and this is a viburnum that is blooming right now. And it's a brandy wine viburnum that turns like a deep, beautiful red in the fall. Very beautiful plant. The 9-bark, this, I'm trying to think, is this 9-bark 4 years old? But just look at it. Do you see all of those buds? It is going to be beautiful in another week or so. It is back planted by more alliums, and I almost forgot to show this to you. The Canterbury bells that I had started from seed using the winter sowing method last winter again. We planted them last summer, and now this spring they are getting ready to bloom. Isn't that so exciting? There's a rose of Sharon and another Sarah Bernhardt peony. If we swing over here, this is our orchard, and we have to replace a couple of the fruit trees because the rabbits got to the trunks this past winter because we did not have the trunks covered. Our honeybees are back in here. And this is our chicken run. And this will eventually be our raised bed garden. We have quite a bit of projects going on right now, so we're slowly working away at our projects as we can. We have a honeysuckle planted in here, and then this is our herb garden. I do plan on using this as a trellis for my runner beans that have the prettiest pink flowers for the hummingbirds. The chickens got out the other day. Oh my goodness, they make such a mess when they get out. But I think the plants are fine, and look at the chives that we planted in here. They are looking sweet. And back here, the chamomile that we planted together, look at this. It is starting to bud up. The climbing rose that we transplanted earlier this spring is filled with buds. I am so excited. I wasn't sure how it would work with transplanting it, but it's looking so nice. And this has been one of my favorite spring planters with the purple pansies. Oh, looks so sweet, especially when all of the muscari in here was in bloom. As we turn around and walk down this pathway, these strawberries have taken off so much. A lot of these were planted just last spring, so they were babies and didn't produce a whole lot last spring, but look at them. They are filled with flowers and baby strawberries. It'll be so fun to have fresh strawberries. In here, again, there's not a whole lot in bloom. There's some columbine. And again, right in here, chickens made such a mess. Oh my goodness. I'm still working on getting this break border done. It'll be pretty once it's finished. These are some alliums I planted in here last fall. So this is the first spring they bloom, looking so sweet. Some more columbine, and then there is also more peonies getting ready to take off. The pansies in these window boxes, oh my goodness, they are so sweet. And there's a robin's nest in here. So they kind of make noises at me whenever I get close. These are called balloon alliums, and they are just the sweetest little alliums. Oh, love them. And this is a fritillary that blooms close to June. I mean, look at that unique bloom. And there's not a whole lot in bloom in here otherwise. Why don't we head out to the front cut flower garden? Okay, we are out here by the front cut flower garden. This is my perennial cut flower garden, and it's a more formal garden than the back cut flower garden. But just last week we were in here planting a whole bunch of roses. So I probably won't go over everything since we just saw it together last week. But I did want to show you this Southern Charm Verbascum. I had started this from seed using the winter sowing method. I mean, just look at those blooms. Aren't they just so like whimsical and romantic? Over here on this side, the verbascum kind of fell over in the winds we had last week, but they're still looking very sweet, especially as they kind of lay over the flagstones. All right, friends, we have come to the end of our garden tour. Hopefully next week we can work on some garden projects together. I mean, it has turned out to be the prettiest day. It was supposed to rain today. So hopefully this weather continues for a bit. Have an amazing week. Thank you for walking around the gardens with me today. I hope it was inspiring and helpful to you in your own garden space. Have an amazing week, and I will see you right back here next Saturday. Bye.